So I was just drinking this clear lemonade. I was thinking about how clear lemonade is a perfection of nature in a certain form, because it's debatable as to what is a perfection of nature, but I'll explain it so that you understand. In clear lemonade, it has a few main components, which is firstly water. Now the water we drink and know is a fairly clear, refined, cleaned form. You can find clear forms of water in nature in good areas, but some areas would have muddy water or salty water like the sea, and murky water. And the water we're used to is, it's pretty much either distilled, or it's it's a rainwater, or it's some kind of chemically treated water which is clear. In clear lemonade, you have that refined water, which is a refinement in itself. The next refinement is sugar, which is a white sugar. Assumably it'd be some kind of syrup, I would imagine. I don't know, maybe it's a crystalline sugar. But if we look at syrup or crystalline sugars, this again is a refinement from assumably sugarcane or some other, maybe another chemical process that they used to make it. They make this sweetness, which if you think of as a lemon, the lemon has a sweetness, an orange has a sweetness. You are refining the sweetness of a lemon or an orange, which is its sugar. And then you can have this as like a different step, like a brown sugar. You can then refine it into a raw sugar, which I believe is a more refined form, and then into a white sugar, which finally is its most refined form. And you'll notice as you refine things, you got to think of a raw ingredient see the spectrum. Usually, at least in this refinement, you're taking the top part of the spectrum, the head, and you're leaving the body or the tail behind. The darkness of sugar is its minerals, its body essentially. The kind of dirt and murkiness of water again is its body. And then finally, aside from preservatives, the last two actually qualities is a lemon essential oil. Now this is where a yellow lemonade differs from a pale or clear lemonade, because a clear lemonade uses the essential oil or a artificial chemical which replicates the essential oil, the taste of a lemon. This again is the clearest, most refined top part of the lemon, which is the essential oil, or for any fruit, herbs, whatever substance for that matter. Then of course you can think alcohol has the fizziness. You've basically taken that part of alcohol or fermented drinks and you've added that to a lemonade, and you've made this drink which is pretty much taken the most kind of refined parts of things, and the lemon itself is a very kind of higher level fruit. An apple, for example, would be lower. A grape, I don't know. We have to figure out the hierarchy of fruits one day, maybe. A lemon, because it's got that very sharp and very strong there's a very mental, kind of a very electrical like taste to it. So it's it's like that. Now, this kind of reminds me of French culture. French culture is the refinement of whites. White desserts, white foods, white clothing, or black for that matter, white stone, etc. They refine a lot of white things, milk, for example, or dairy, or fats and oils and such. Flour. A white rice or a white flour is a refinement. Again, a flour is a refinement of wheat or grain, some kind of grain. Of course, you can have what do you call it? Rice flour or some other grain flour. Now, if you have too much refined stuff, you will only develop your head and you will not develop your body. That's why it's good to eat brown rice or not always be engaged in refined things. Though, of course, some people, that's just their life, that's just what they like. They like to live in a more refined world, a more mental world, for that matter. Colors, for example, are an example of this refinement. Colors are in and of themselves, they are a refinement of nature. Kind of similar how we refine pure elements like pure iron or pure copper, pure sulfur. In nature, usually, well, you can kind of find, grass which is green or flowers which is purple or white or whatever. So I guess you can find pure colors, but taking them and making them into paints or something is, is definitely a refinement. Now, one thing I've noticed is that we have all of the pieces, essentially. Of course, technology always improves and the resolution of the world gets better. Things get faster, usually easier, hopefully, which is good. But to some extent, we have pretty much everything that we need. So it's kind of like how already in the 80s, computing was pretty good. Of course, you had to use a CRT monitor and such, and I don't even remember when the internet was commercially available. I think like late 80s maybe, and it was very expensive from what I heard, but pretty much you had everything you needed. If you had a computer and you could program, you could pretty much make a lot of things. The resolutions have gotten better as things have gone on, but it's kind of like how people look at old games and they think, wow, this is incredible. Like World of Warcraft 2004, excuse me. That was, amazing for its time, and it's still a good game, I'm sure. It's some people think you need better technology and all that, but maybe it's we need better internal technology. We need to be better at using what we have. It's kind of like the colors. If you are creative and experienced enough, you'll figure out a way to draw whatever you want with the colors you have. If you have the 7 prime colors and the shades, black and white, to create different shades of those colors, or even 3 prime colors, you'll figure out a way to use them to your advantage. Of course, more technology helps, but getting back to the raw things from which everything is made from, good. So I guess we have like both. We have raw. Well, actually, it's more difficult nowadays to get raw ingredients. Funny enough, it's easier to get the refined ingredients. But what I'm trying to say is like we have the ingredients to pretty much do anything or like everything. It's up to you to decide, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? Do you want to make something? Like, I think 3D printers are very fascinating, and I think they are the best friend of an engineer nowadays. You could really 3D print pretty much anything, as long as you're not constrained by the model, but even then there are ways to get around it. So the world is waiting for you. We've basically taken pretty much everything from nature and refined it into a more usable form. And again, I like both. I like raw ingredients and I like refinement. They're both good because with raw ingredients you can learn how to refine them. Essentially through alchemy you can learn that. And then with refined things, they're very easy to use to make stuff. Like, I don't want to have to make my own glue or something, but maybe that would be fun to learn. You'd probably make a lot of it for cheap, but it's good that we can buy glue, I guess. Anyway, that's all for this one. If you enjoyed, of course check the links in the description if you're interested. And of course, have a good day and goodbye.